Hello, clarinets. This is Mrs. Morel, and today's lesson is about reed assembly. And this is a very important part of playing clarinet, and I'm going to give you step-by-step instructions to help you do it by yourself at home. All right, so first things first, you need to make sure that your clarinet case is on the floor. We always want to make sure that we assemble our instrument from the floor and open our case from the floor so our clarinet does not fall from our lap. We'll be doing this all year long. So after you've opened your case safely, you've made sure that the label of the brand of the instrument's at the top of the case and that the latches come upward so that you open the case safely and everything doesn't fall out. I want you to find your reed. Now, hopefully your reed is in a foil paper just like this. I had already opened this reed, just wanted to show you. We will be using Van Doren reeds all year long, and we will be using for right now Van Doren 2.5. And if you look at the very bottom where my finger is, that's where 2.5 is. All right, so after you've ripped the foil paper open, you're going to take the reed out of the foil paper. And then the reed is this clear plastic case, and the plastic case has this little indentation in it. That is where we're going to take the reed out of. And it's very easy. Holding with your right hand, grab the cane of the reed and pull. After you pull, set the reed case down, and here is our reed. So our reed is going to go into our mouth, and we're going to be soaking our reed. Now there is the back of the reed, and the back of the reed is the part that says Van Doren, and right now it says 2.5. That's what we're going to be using for right now. The front of the reed has the smooth, shiny side, and we're also going to soak that part. So while Mrs. Morel is going through the rest of the steps, I want reed inside your mouth. You soak both the top and the bottom, and you soak the back of the reed. All right, so I'm going to take the reed out of my mouth so I can talk, because if not, then you'll hear me talk like this. And this is, what I have to do in class. But while you are soaking the reed, Mrs. Morel is going to continue. All right, so the first thing I want you to now the next thing I want you to find in your case is I want you to find your ligature. All right, we either have one that looks like this, it's silver, or we have a black one in our case. And we're going to put our ligature on our pinky. We call it pinky bling. It's like we got married to our clarinet. So we just make sure that we put our reed ligature on our pinky and we leave it on pinky bling. All right, so the next thing I want you to find in your case is this part. This part is called the mouthpiece. And the mouthpiece looks just like this with a little bitty cork there at the very bottom. While your ligature's still on pinky bling, I want you to grab your mouthpiece. This is all with my left hand, by the way. And then I want you to find your cork grease. Okay? And your cork grease either comes looking like this, like a tube of chapstick, or it comes in a circular little container that's made out of plastic. Either way, it doesn't matter. So we take our cork grease, put a little bit on the cork, close our cork grease, and we rub our finger around to make sure that we got it all the way around. So while we're holding our mouthpiece nice and secure with our pinky bling, we're going to take our barrel. And our barrel is going to go onto our mouthpiece. Now, if you look at the barrel, there is a skinny part and a fat part. The part that goes onto the mouthpiece is the skinny part. So that's the part we're going to work on. So I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to grab the fat part of the barrel, and I'm going to push and twist the mouthpiece to the barrel. All right, so now we have the mouthpiece barrel portion of our clarinet together. Now, some of you guys have the name of the instrument, Yamaha, right here, and you might want to line it up with the mouthpiece. So all those little things fade over time, so mine doesn't have it anymore. All right, so you now have assembled the mouthpiece, the barrel, and you have your ligature on pinky bling. Okay, so, and your reed right now is in your mouth. Now we're going to talk about how to put the ligature onto the mouthpiece. All right, there is a right way and there's a wrong way. The wrong way is, if you look at the ligature, there is a fat portion and a skinny portion. The wrong way is putting the skinny portion on the top of the mouthpiece. And when you put the skinny portion on the top of the mouthpiece, it doesn't fit. Okay, the clarinet's a lot like a puzzle. And if the pieces don't fit, you can't force them, because then you're going to hurt your clarinet. So the fat part of the ligature is the part that fits into the mouthpiece. Now, all of us will have to make sure that we have loosened the ligature screw to be able to slide the mouthpiece or the ligature onto the mouthpiece. If not, mine's kind of old, so it's hard for it to loosen to be able to do this. But anyway, if not, it'll stay up here and you'll have to loosen a little bit just to get it to go further down. Now, notice if I have it wrong, I'd be forcing it down, and forcing is bad. Okay, so I have my ligature onto my mouthpiece. Now I have to figure out which way is front, which way is the back. So the front of the mouthpiece, what I call the front of the mouthpiece, is the part that has the opening. That is the part that you're going to look at. That's the part you have to be aware of. All right. The back of the ligature is the part that Mrs. Morrell sees. Okay. This is the part that goes outward. You don't look at this part. So that's the back. This is your front. This is the back. Now, your ligature, there are two types of ligatures. One is what we call a front-facing ligature. In other words, it faces you, faces the front. And then there's a ligature that faces the back. Now, either way, the number one rule about ligatures is that you always have to tighten with the right hand. That is how you know whether or not your ligature is a front or back facing ligature. So, for example, if my ligature is facing in this direction and this is my right hand, I can't tighten anything. There are no screws there. That's how I know I have it the wrong way. When I turn it around and it faces me, then I can loosen and tighten with my right hand. Okay, so now that we've figured out our ligature placement onto our mouthpiece, we're going to discuss the things that are on the front of our class. If you look at what I put on the screen for you, these are the steps to be able to assemble the reed onto the mouthpiece. All right, so first things first, your reed was still in your mouth this whole time. You've been soaking all the ends of your reed. It's nice and moist. It's ready to go. So I'm going to take my ligature and I'm going to sliver it upward with my hands. If you see, I'm taking my entire palm and my 3 fingers, I've wrapped it around the ligature, and my index finger and my thumb are what's going to move the ligature back and forth or up and down. Then I'm going to take my reed and I'm going to sliver my reed into or between my mouthpiece and my ligature. Now, a few things. Number 1, don't ever touch the tip of the reed. That's how you'll break it. Number 2, the reed never goes into anything. All right. So like if you try to do this clever thing, that is terribly wrong. Okay. It doesn't even look right. It doesn't go into anything. You also don't put it downward into anything because you're going to break it. Next, it never goes up to anything. All right. We don't ever want to do this because you're going to break the reed and then you'll have to buy another one. All right. So what we're doing is we have slivered the ligature above, or not above, on top of the mouthpiece. Now, if you look at the reed, there's a side, the dull side that says Van Doren. That's the part that faces the hole, the part that you look like. And here I'm going to try to move to the side. You're going to take the reed with the fat butt side part and put it in between the ligature and the mouthpiece. All right, so let me do that again. I'm going to take it out through the top. Here's my reed, the flat side that says Van Doren. I've slivered the ligature up. I'm going to sliver the reed down between the ligature and the mouthpiece. All right, so now that I've done that, the line goes over the ligature. So if I look at my reed, if I look at my mouthpiece, there is a line right there on the mouthpiece. That's going to go over the ligature. Okay, some of us have it, some of us don't. But we want to try our best to put the line over the ligature. In addition, there is a line on the reed. That line goes above, over the ligature. All right, I'm going to make sure my reed is centered at the bottom. See, it'll fit right with that flat part. Then I'm going to feel the sides of the reed to make sure it's perfectly adjusted. I'm going to center the ligature on the reed, make sure it's right there in the center. I don't know if you can see all of that. Then at the very tip of the reed, I'm going to make sure there's just a little bit of black that shows on the reed. All right, so now that I've done that, it's time to tighten the ligature. Now, a lot of times I have to hold the ligature while I tighten it because the little silver ligatures that you guys have that have the two screws, they'll flip around all over the place while you're tightening. So I grab the ligature while I tighten it. And after I've tightened it, this is what the final product looks like. I have my reed on my ligature with my mouthpiece and my barrel. And that's it. That's how you assemble the reed. All right, class, thank you very much for watching.